You're watching Las Vegas 1. News and information 24/7.
This week on In Business Las Vegas, unemployment in Clark County reaches double digits.
Plus, strip casino fortunes tumble like a house of cards.
And the president's plan to rescue the housing sector gets mixed reviews. In Business Las Vegas. Up next.
Now from Las Vegas 1, this is In Business Las Vegas.
Welcome to this edition of In Business Las Vegas, your source for the top business news of the week.
From the resources of the Las Vegas Sun, Channel 8 Eyewitness News, and In Business Las Vegas. Right now, let's take a look at our top story.
The Valley's unemployment rate reached record levels in January. Clark County reports a 10% jobless rate. The state came in just shy of that at 9.4%. Both exceeded the national average. Department of Employment officials say January is typically a weak month for jobs, but not this week.
You don't have to tell the biggest gaming company on the Strip that times are tough. In a filing this week with the Securities and Exchange Commission, MGM Mirage warned regulators that it may default on loans if the economy continues to deteriorate.
MGM Mirage faces big challenges, which include bonds and loans coming due and opening its huge $9 billion city center next autumn. And this is all happening while fewer visitors come and they're spending less money. News 1's Carol Wilkinson has the story.
It's still business as usual at MGM Mirage-owned properties on the Strip. But behind the scenes, things are changing. In light of the worsening economy and what company execs call instability in the capital markets, MGM Mirage says it will need more time to file its annual report, adding that the company will likely default on a bank loan if the economy continues to decline. Not good news, says analyst Jeremy Aguero, but not the end of the world either.
I think what's important to remember is that these companies, MGM Mirage and others, continue to have relatively strong cash flows. They're still generating a lot of revenue. There's still a lot of reason for them to continue to open their doors every day and keep as many people employed as they can.
In a statement regarding the company's financial future, MGM Mirage's senior vice president wrote, "We are exploring a number of options and are committed to finding the best possible solution." And calling it a prudent step for the company to take, the statement continues, "The $842 million the company withdrew from its senior credit facility on February 27, 2009, went directly to the company's balance sheet, bringing the total cash balance to over $1 billion. And what of MGM Mirage's massive city center development? Company spokesmen say today's filing will have no bearing on construction or the planned opening of the project.
Take a look at some of the other restructurings that we've seen in airlines or in other tourism industries for that, tourism companies for that matter. You know, restructuring generally means that you come out of it more healthy than you went into it.
Carol Wilkinson, Las Vegas 1.
And no word yet from MGM Mirage on whether the company will file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. However, some experts say a corporate restructuring may be in the cards if the economy remains in trouble. A possible deal between MGM Mirage and Deutsche Bank is dead. Under the agreement, Deutsche Bank would have given MGM Mirage up to $700 million to finish City Center. In return, MGM Mirage would have either operated the neighboring Cosmopolitan or taken title. Deutsche Bank would have also acquired a stake in City Center. Jeff?
Dana, now to more signs of the times. The Riviera is in technical default on a $245 million credit line. Riviera executives say the technical default came after the company refused to enter a new agreement with Wachovia Bank regarding access to their accounts. The company's been struggling with the downturn in business. CEO William Westerman says the company is current with its payments, but that the higher interest rates that come with default may force the Riviera to reassess its finances. On Friday, Riviera stock closed down 11 cents to finish at $1.52 a share. The Las Vegas Sun reports Harrah's Entertainment took a hit in the fourth quarter. That's based on preliminary results. Harrah's reports revenue fell to about $2.3 billion, down from $2.6 billion the year before. The news comes as Harrah's tries to renegotiate its debt. Harrah's took on nearly $24 billion in debt when it went private back in January 2008. The Sun reports Harrah's wants to exchange almost $3 billion in bonds for new notes. with an extended due date. Moody's downgraded Harrah's this week, saying the company would probably default because of soft business in Las Vegas and in Atlantic City. And Moody's also raised a red flag this week on the yet-to-open Fontainebleau. It says the North Strip property is in danger of default because, according to Moody's, the Fontainebleau will not be able to sell enough condos to reduce its construction debt. However, Moody's says it appears the Fontainebleau does have enough cash to complete construction. The Fontainebleau is supposed to open in October.
And American Casino and Entertainment Properties, which owns the Stratosphere, Arizona Charlie's, and the Aquarius in Laughlin, is cutting jobs. In addition to the layoffs, the company is suspending its 401k matching program and suspending salary increases. Company officials say the changes are necessary because the gaming industry has been hit especially hard by the economy. And Station Casinos this week secured a forbearance agreement from its lenders and an extension on a deadline for a decision from bondholders that could determine the company's fate. Station wants to enter a prepackaged bankruptcy and renegotiate its debt. Bondholders now have until April 10th to accept or reject the deal. Station this week also rejected overtures from its suitor, Boyd Gaming, to buy part of the company. Boyd, Station's competitor in the locals market, offered to buy a number of Station's casinos for $950 million. Instead, Station says it will pursue its reorganization plan. Boyd says it's still interested should Stations have a change of heart. At what point do gaming regulators become concerned about the worsening financial conditions of casinos? And joining me now, a former member of the Gaming Control Board, attorney Jeff Silver. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. It's hard to be cheerful with news like that.
Well, we're going to try to get through this with a smile. You've been around for a long time. You were on the Gaming Control Board back in the 70s. Historically, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, I haven't, Dana. This is probably the worst condition that I've seen this industry in. And it's largely as a result of all of the improvements that we've been making over the years to try and make it more competitive with other forms of attractions around the world. We've really taken it to the point now where a return on the capital is almost impossible.
You know, there was so much talk about hotel consolidation for a while as MGM was gobbling up properties and Harrah's. Did these companies become too big?
Well, I think now that they would realize that having an enormous amount of debt isn't really a good thing. This leveraging that has been going on over the last 5 or 6 years especially has really put the industry in a precarious position as it pertains to reliance on all of the forms of activities that they offer. For example, they built a lot of rooms, and when you get into the rooming market, you're more susceptible to nationwide and, in fact, worldwide trends where all of these locations are trying to attract the customer. And being recession-proof just isn't in the cards right now for us. Every
day we hear of some trigger, somebody's defaulting, somebody's having to restructure their debt. From a gaming regulator standpoint, at what point do you become nervous? At what point do you have to start watching what's really going on?
If you ever saw that movie Airplane where the guy was talking to the fellow next to him and he was about ready to commit harry-carry, I think the regulators are about in that position. They see more than just a darkness looming in the future. They have worked with these companies and watched the stock values and the capital values, enterprise values go into the ground. And they're very concerned, I'm sure. They've never dealt with these kinds of problems where a number of properties at one time, the premier properties in Nevada, are experiencing this kind of difficulty. Obviously, they have a job, and the job is to make sure that when people go into a casino and they gamble, that if they win their wager, they're going to be paid. And that's really the primary thing that they look at right now. But more importantly down the road is how to deal with these bankruptcies or transfers as a result of foreclosures with the creditors who now become the new owners of these facilities.
What about the stock prices? When you see MGM below $2 and Sands below $2, what kind of a warning sign is that?
It's a warning not to be an investor in gaming stocks, I think, first and foremost.
That's not a signal to buy?
Well, obviously the warning is that the enterprise value of these entities has declined materially. And as a result of that, the people who have invested in those stocks will not likely go back to them for quite a while. This sector is essentially dead in the water. And so I think the harm is that the availability of capital for the future has been jeopardized.
Okay, Mr. Silver, sobering news. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Jeff?
All right, Dana, thanks much. When In Business comes back, we're going to tell you what tourism officials are doing to ward off the Las Vegas stigma. Plus, Shelley Berkeley is mad as hell, and she's not going to take it anymore. We'll tell you what has the Congresswoman up in arms next on In Business Las Vegas.